I'm reading a poem in memory of my husband, Wayne. He loved poetry, and he used to recite to us all the time from memory. I'm not that good. He felt that poetry was one of those things that, was enjoyable to hear, and it shared something with other people, and everybody gets a little bit different out of it each time. So in memory of my husband, Wayne, I'm reading to you The Cremation of Sam McGee by Robert W. Service. There are strange things done in the midnight sun by the men who maul for gold. The Arctic Trail has secret trails that would make your blood run cold. The Northern Lights have seen queer sights, but the queerest they've ever seen was the night on the merge of Lake LaBerge that I cremated Sam McGee. Now, Sam McGee was from Tennessee, where the cotton blooms and bowls. Why he left his home in the South to roam round the poles, God only knows. He was cold, always cold, but the land of gold seemed to hold him like a spell, though he often say in his homely way that he'd sooner live in hell. On Christmas Day, we were mushing our way over the Dawson Trail. Talk of the cold through the Parker's fold, it stabbed like driven nails. If our eyes we closed, then the lashes froze till sometimes we couldn't see. It wasn't much fun, but the only one to whimper was Sam McGee. That very night, as we laid packed tight in our robes beneath the snow, and the dogs were fed, and the stars overhead were dancing heel to toe, he turned to me and Cap, say he, I'll cash it in this trip, I guess. And if I do, I ask that you won't refuse my last request. Well, he seemed so low that I couldn't say no, that he'd say that I could say no. Then he said with a sort of moan, it's cursed cold, and it gets right whole till it chills you right through to the bone. Yet 'tain't being dead, it's my awful dread of an icy grave that pains. So I want you to swear, foul or fair, that you'll cremate my last remains. A pal's last need is a thing to heed, so I swore I wouldn't fail. And we started at the streak of dawn, but God, he looked ghastly pale. He crouched on the sled, and he raved all day of his home in Tennessee. And before the night fell, a corpse was all that was left of Sam McGee. There wasn't a breath in the land of death, and I hurried, horror-driven. With a corpse half hidden, I couldn't get rid because of a promise given. It was lashed to the sled, and it seemed to say, you may tax your brawn and brain, but you promised true, and it's up to you to cremate those last remains. Now a promise made is a debt unpaid, and the trail has its own stern code. In the days to come, that lump, my lips were dumb, in my heart how I cursed the load. In the long, long nights, by the lone firelight, while the huskies round in a ring, howled out their woes to the homeless snow, oh God, how I loathe that thing. And every day that quiet clay seems to heavier and heavier grow. And on I went, though the dogs were spent and the grub was getting low. The trail was bad, and I felt half mad, but I swore I would not give in. And I often sang to that hateful thing, and it hearkened with a grin, till I came to the merge of Lake LaBerge, and the derelict there lay. It was jammed in the ice, but I saw in a trice it was called Alice May. And I looked at it, and I thought a bit, and I looked at my frozen chum. Then, here, said I, with a sudden cry, is my crematorium. Some planks I tore from the cabin floor and lit the boiler fire. Some coal I found that was laying around, and I heaped the fuel higher. The flames just soared and the furnace roared, such a blaze you seldom see. And I burrowed a hole in the glowing coals, and I stuffed in Sam McGee. Then I made a hike, for I don't like to hear him sizzling so. And the heavens scowled, and the huskies howl, and the wind began to blow. It was icy cold, but the hot sweat rolled down my cheeks, and I don't know why. And the greasy smoke in an inky cloak streaked down the sky. I do not know how long in the snow I wrestled with my grisly fear, but the stars came out and they danced about, eerie again I ventured near. I was sick with dread, but I bravely said, I'll just take a peek inside. And I guess he's cooked, and it's time I looked. Then the door I opened wide, and there sat Sam, looking cool and calm in the heart of the furnace roar. And he wore a smile you could see a mile, and he said, please close the door. It's fine in here, and I greatly fear you'll let in the cold and storm. Since I've left Plum Creek down in Tennessee, it's the first time I've been warm. There are strange things done in the midnight sun by the men who mull for gold. The Arctic trails have their secret tales that would make your blood run cold. The Northern Lights have seen queer sights, but the queerest they've ever seen was the night on the merge of Lake LaBerge I cremated Sam McGee.